Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. This won't be a long webinar. I just want to show you a little bit of the wonders we still have in Portugal. So like Norma said, we have a lot of experience in events in Portugal, but we are always looking for new options, new ideas, new creative ideas, because we know how demanding our clients are in looking for new things. So being myself for many years a lover of Azores and being there several times also with events and also in personal, it's at the moment one of my favorite destinations. And for that reason, I invest a little bit more to research for a creative program out of the box that people don't know. It's a destination that is really unknown and it's so close and there's so much to offer there. You don't have to travel to the other side of the world to be a little bit different from all the Europe options you have here. And that's why we created a presentation. It's just a placement of the destination itself. You're going to see a little bit of the pros and cons and the right type of profile we can offer in groups, as well as a 4 days program that we decided to take you on a journey, because I believe it's more interesting and it's easy for you to see how it could work. Of course, there's tons of possibilities, but this is just an idea of how it could work, and hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna share my screen so we can start and show you a little bit about the destination. So Portugal has the main continent that most of everyone knows, and has two sets of islands that belong to our country, which is Azores and Madeira. And Azores is the one we're going to focus today. I'm just gonna place you a little bit of the most key selling points of the destination. So Azores is considered for the ones around the world as islands and archipelagos of islands, one of the most beautiful ones and still very undiscovered. It's very diverse and breathtaking in terms of nature. For some of people, because they are volcanic islands, they're considered the mid-Atlantic Hawaii. It has the same feel and mindset as the Hawaii Islands in the Pacific Island, Pacific Ocean. I'm sorry. It's not a destination that is still very discovered and very massive in terms of tourism. There's people that go there in terms of leisure, of course, but as an incentive destination, is still very undiscovered. But it's coming more and more in the map because it's so impressive. Okay, for that reason, it's still very local in the indigenous. The experience there is not the kind of experience that you can find anywhere in the world, and this is an add value for our clients. One thing that is very important, especially nowadays, it's the part of sustainability. Azores was the first archipelago as a set of islands to be considered a sustainable tourism destination in the world. Was the first one to get this official stamp. And you're going to see along the presentation on your left bottom corner, a little green leaf, which identifies the sustainable options we are offering you. In Azores, it's possible to offer you more than 90% sustainable program. Unfortunately, the only thing that is still not sustainable in the island is the transportation. So therefore, it's not 100%, but we can go up to 90%, and you're going to see along the program. Also good in terms of weather all year round, because it's kind of a tropical destination with the influence of the volcanic islands. The average temperature all year round, it's 20 degrees. So there's never that intensive heat or intensive cold that you can find in other destinations in Europe. And again, because it's not that discovered yet, the value for money there, it's great, which helps also, especially in these times we are at the moment, that clients are a little bit more strict in budget, but we can put together nice programs. So fun fact about Azores. I don't know if you know, but in Azores, because they are in the middle of Atlantic, they are part of the route of the migration of cetaceans. So between March, April, May, even sometimes in June, you can see more than 27 different species of cetaceans passing in the island. So from humpback whales to killer whales to white whales, they all pass there. And it's an amazing experience for clients. In terms, they are very known by the quality of their pineapples. And it's the only place in the world where they green pineapples in greenhouses. So they have a part of the island that is dedicated to that. And one of the things we can do is use those greenhouses as venues for events. It works really well, and it's a different type of contrast as a venue. It is only place in Europe where you have tea plantations. When you always think about tea, you think about Asia. But there are plantations in Europe, and they are located in the island of São Miguel, one of the 9 islands. And it's also, they are very traditional. They have been planting tea there since the 1870 something, if I'm not mistaken. And they still use all the traditional procedures to do it. Because it's a volcanic island, it's in the middle of Atlantic, we can have the 4 seasons in one day. That is important. So we can wake up with a bright sunny day, end the day with a cloudy or a little bit chilly, but it's always comfortable in terms of temperature. And because of that humidity at that quality, the islands are always green, as you can see here in the picture, and has a lovely fact, which is hydrangeas there are like wildflowers. So they are blossom all along the roads. So if you're doing a simple transfer from the hotel to a lunch or for an activity, imagine yourself driving along the roads there and having tons of white, blue, pink hydrangeas blossom around on the side of the roads. It's really, really beautiful. So what type of groups we recommend to Azores? Because it's not that discovered, because it's not a massive island. So to have an idea, the island itself, it has a perimeter of around 90 kilometers. It takes one day to go all around. It's not a massive island. So, and the hotels there are not huge, the activities. So normally we recommend a profile between 30 to 50 people. Of course, we can do a little bit more for 60, or if you're doing a conference instead of an incentive, we can go a little bit bigger. The main issue here is when most of the groups, they like to do the activities together. So if you have more than 60 people to do a full program with activities all together, it will become complicated. We can get 1, 2, 3 activities altogether, more than 60, but not the entire program. That's why the profile is this one. The average stay there tends to be 3 days, 4 nights. So 3 nights, 4 days, I'm sorry. Of course, we can also adapt a little bit less, a little bit more. And in some cases, we also combine it with Lisbon because this is a nature destination mostly. People like to combine a little bit with the city, and it's easy to connect the São Miguel Island with Lisbon and, for example, do a 3 days program. And then the third night we do it in Lisbon with a nice venue, with a nice party, people to go shopping, to go party on bars and clubs. Something like that works really well. It's important for people that go to Azores to love that connection with nature, to love a little bit of adrenaline, because most of the activities in Azores are made outdoors and in connect with that nature and with the ocean, with the mountains, with the volcanic craters. And it's also important they are not afraid of getting a little bit rain, a little bit cold, because again, as I mentioned before, the 4 seasons are present in one day. So we can't guarantee, you know, in events industry, we can guarantee a lot of things, but weather is something that it gets a little bit tricky sometimes. The experiences there are mostly very indigenous, very local. The landscapes, the fauna, the flora you find there, it's very unique. So people should be looking for that, and I believe that's a plus. And also the connection with the local experience and the local heritage, because they protect that a lot and they focus that the programs have that contact with the locals. So in terms of location, just for you to see a little bit, it's not in the middle of Atlantic Ocean, but it's located 1,500 kilometers from Portugal continental, 3,900 from United States. So for example, if you have an international event that is connecting with the United States, this could be a good meeting point because we have from Boston, for example, direct flights to Azores. In terms of Germany, direct flights to Azores, the good news is we have some, which is important. We have SATA, which is the Azores airline that flies to Frankfurt. Before the pandemics, it was 3 times a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sunday. They are already starting returning those flights, but at the moment they are doing Thursday and Sunday. Hopefully by September, the 3 days a week will return again. But even though Thursday to Sunday, it's a nice connection to do. Another opportunity, if you don't manage to bring everyone from Frankfurt, is to do the connection through Lisbon. As you know, TAP, Lufthansa, they have really nice connections with Lisbon Airport. And Lisbon Airport is a very small airport. So you can do the connection, arriving to Lisbon 1 hour later, you're boarding the flight to Azores. From Lisbon to Azores, the flight is around 2 hours and a half. If you do direct from Frankfurt to Azores, it's 4 hours and a half. If you do the scale in Lisbon, the maximum scale you have, it's 6 hours and a half. So there's different ways to connect, which is important. So where is Azores? As I told you, just to place you, the Azores, as I told you from the beginning, it's been part of Portugal since 1427. It was discovered by our sailors, and not, for example, with Cape Verde, Saint Tomé, that they are also island clusters, and they are now independent countries. Azores stays, and it is part of Portugal territory. It's part of a country. Everyone speaks Portuguese, and we don't intend, hopefully, to become independent very soon. It's part of a 9 islands cluster that they are spread along 600 kilometers. I have guests in the past asking if it's easy to connect by boat between islands. Unfortunately not, because they are very spread in the Atlantic. We have inside the 9 islands, we have 3 sets of islands. So the East, the Central, and the West islands. And if you are staying in the Central Islands, you can connect between some of them. For example, from São Jorge to Pico, you can connect by boat. But if you are staying in São Miguel, which is a destination that we tend to recommend for events, because we believe that they're the one that has the quality and the capacity to deliver the excellency we want for your groups. Because you know there are destinations that don't fit groups, they are most leisure, and that's what happens with most of the islands in Azores. São Miguel has the quality hotels, has the quality of transportation, has the mindset to accommodate the expectations our clients request from us and expect. The rest of the islands, they are working on it, but are not prepared yet. Of course, if we need to do something intersided, we can do peak, we also, but it's not as easy. And the bigger the group is, the more complicated it is, because these islands are even smaller than São Miguel. Okay. Starting the program itself, our suggestion was for guests to take the morning flight, get to the island after lunch, and go straight to the hotel. In terms of hotels, there are different options in the islands. In terms of 5 stars, we already have 5-star hotels in the island, and more 4 stars. And in here, we put 2 suggestions. Why? Because we believe they are a little bit different from the city hotels we are used to. These resorts that we see here, Eco Resort Santa Barbara, it's located 15 minutes from the main city, Ponta Delgada, 25 from the airport. And it's a small resort of 30 rooms and villas that could be privatized if you want. It has this amazing sustainable mindset. It's a 100% sustainable hotel. It's located next to a beach with direct access to that beach, with beautiful gardens, great pools, and has this feeling of very earthy, very relaxed environment with very good look. It also has one of the best restaurants of the island in terms of sushi. It's considered the best sushi in the island, okay? The other option we can offer you, it's Pedras do Mar. This is a 5 stars against the 4 stars. The other one, we can call it a 4-star superior, almost a 5-star. This one, it's a little bit bigger, but it has the same feeling. Again, it's 15 minutes from Ponta Delgada, also the main city, 20 minutes from the airport. It has a little bit more of space, but also can be privatized if the group is bigger. It has this amazing infinity pool overlooking the ocean, great restaurants, great facility spaces, tennis courts, and this, again, also this feeling of very earthy, very connected to the land, which is important in Azores. So guests will be transferred to the hotel, and they will be welcomed there with a gin workshop. You know, gin is very trendy at the moment, but in Azores, they managed to do a little bit different. Why? Because being a volcanic island, it's very rich in basalt stone. So they use the basalt stone as one of the ingredients to create this rocha negra. That's why it's called rocha negra, black rock. It's the meaning of the gin. And in here, we can already starting to connect them with the island and with their traditions. And here we can do just a welcome drink, a workshop of gin, but it's a nice way for them. After being refreshed, checked in, it's time to depart. First activity of the day, we're going to take them to the tea factories, which are very close by, 10 minutes transfer time. And this is one of the ones I was telling you before. As you can see, the tea plantations are overlooking the ocean, and they do it still since 1888, as you can see here, and they still do it in a very traditional way. So the guests we here, we have the chance to go and visit in the plantations, pick up the tea leaves, understand how they are treated, how they are converted and dry. They can taste the tea. They produce green tea, black tea, and have a wonderful afternoon in connection with the traditions of the island. By night, we have the option either to serve them the welcome dinner at the hotel. For example, if they are sushi and fish lovers, we can stay at Santa Barbara. Or if they are a little bit of meat lovers, we take them to the association. What is this restaurant? So the islands of Azores, all of them, the nine islands, they live mostly from agriculture and cattle breeding. But because they are a sustainable destination, everything that there is done in an organic way. So all the cows, they are bred outdoors, in the fields, in the green fields. They feed themselves from the fresh grass, and then they are the meat is produced from them. It's 100% organic, and it's a tradition in Azores. So if you see in blogs, if you see in articles about the islands, one of the things that they suggest you first on the list is to taste the Azorean steak. Very simple, very nice, but very tasty. So in here, the association, it's a really nice space, and you can have a private room for the group, which is important, and we can give them that experience on arrival if you want. Day two, it's time to go outside. It's time to connect with the nature. The day will start with a beautiful yoga workshop on the beach in front of the hotel, so they can get a little bit of energy and stretch to the day they're gonna have. It can also be on the gardens of the hotel if they don't want to go onto the beach. But this is a really nice way to refresh. After that, breakfast, and it's time to ride the 4x4 jeeps. As we told, the San Miguel, it's a volcanic island, and it has 3 extinct volcano craters that now become lagoons. And our suggestion here is to take them on jeep on the top of a crater and explore areas of the island that you don't normally have access with a normal car. And when they get to the top of the crater, they will swap to bicycles and they will ride down to the center of the crater. Don't get scared with this picture. This is a nice picture, but it's not a hard way to do it. We can easily adapt according with the profile of the attendees to make an easy access, a more fun, a more adrenaline one, and totally adaptable. And after more or less an hour, they will get to the center of the crater. The crater we're suggesting here is Furnas, because it's the only one in the island that still has hot springs. So when you get there, you see this amazing quantity of smoke coming from the hot springs, and it's the only place in the island where you can cook food under the earth. Like in Iceland, you can put your pots under the earth and cook your meal. The tradition here in Azores, it's the cozido. The cozido, it's a very organic meal that is mostly made of meats, different kinds of meats and vegetables, that is put on the pot under the earth from 5 to 7 hours, and then we take them out and we eat them. So guests will arrive there, they will have the chance to see their lunch coming out of the earth, of the hot spring, and then we'll serve them this meal on a picnic basis, like you see here on the lake, in a very simple way. We always have a backup, of course. Don't be worried in case the weather is not amazing. We always find a backup for them to have this amazing meal. In the afternoon, it's time to explore more hidden corners of the island itself. Canyoning is an activity that is growing more in the islands. Why? Because it's so rich in waterfalls, in lakes, in springs, and puddles. So this is a really nice way to explore these virgin forests, because the forests there are still very protected. So you can have an idea, 25% of the archipelagos, it's protected area. They are very keen in having this sustainable part amongst their mindset. So this way, divided in groups according to the level of difficulty you want, we can bring the group to have this fun and active activity of sliding on the waterfalls, on the creeks. It's a really, really nice way to experience the island. After this intensive day of adrenaline and being outdoors and running and fasting, it's time to relax. Because we also have the hot springs to cook the food, we also have them as a pool. In here, Terra Nostra, they are the baths. It's this amazing, massive pool of water with a temperature of 35 to 40 degrees, and this is an amazing way to relax, to enjoy, to end the day all together and relax your muscles. We also suggest them here to serve a drink so they can toast the day and chat a little bit, be all together. Time to dry up and go back to the hotel, refresh, and then by night we're going to take them into the city. Of course, everyone loves the nature in Azores and to be outdoor, but humans need a little bit of human contact. And Ponta Delgada, it's a city that is really rich in history. As I told you before, it's been in Portugal, with Portugal's continent, part of our country since 1427. So therefore, the cultural richness there is very strong. So we give them the opportunity to come into the village and try one of our favorite restaurants, which is Tasca. Tasca belongs to a couple and has the farm to table concept, very local, very relaxed and share style recipes. So basically you have a room for the group and they're going to try 10 of local delicacies that are served in this restaurant in a very relaxing environment. After dinner, for the ones that are still with energy, we suggest them to explore a bit of the nightlife in São Miguel. Of course, you can't compare it with the capital, with Lisbon and Porto. But we have very fun and nice places like Raiz Club, for example, which is a local house that was transformed in a club where local bands go and play music. We have covers night, live music, a really nice local environment, and it's a way for them to relax a little bit and explore this side of the island. Next day, it's time to explore the ocean. So our suggestion starts with the day going into the catamaran with the group to do some whale watching. As I mentioned before, we can see more than 27 species of cetaceans there. And trust me, it's a unique experience. See them wild along, see them dive and splunk the whales. It's really, really nice experience. The morning will be spent aboard of the catamaran. We can serve some drinks on board, some coffee break. And then by lunch, we're going to go take you to another area of the island, Vila Franca, which is close by to Ponta Delgada, but it has a Praia Café, which is a really nice restaurant to serve lunch. They are very known by the quality of fish, of course, being an island surrounded by ocean. The fishermen, fishing is something very strong in the islands, and the quality of the fish, it's amazing. For you to have an idea, there's tons of restaurants in New York that they demand their fish directly from Azores because of their quality, especially sushi restaurants. So they'll have the chance to try the fish there. And in the afternoon, we decided to divide the group in 3 different options. So the first one, it's a more relaxed one. They will go to the 4th crater, extinct crater in the island. So it's not on the main island itself, but it's a little bit outside. We call it Islet. This is a natural reserve, and as you can see, it's a volcanic crater that sank into the ocean, creating this amazing location. It's a protected area. We have to have a special permit to go there, but we can get it, no problem at all. So guests will go there by boat, and they can spend the afternoon bathing themselves as a beach destination, or if they want, do a little bit of local snorkeling because the marine species there are really, really nice. The second option is to go and take the group swimming with dolphins. So the wild dolphins there's a possibility to take them on a Zodiac and just locate where the dolphins are and go and swim with them. The dolphins are resident in the island, so this is an activity we can do all year round. And there's different families. I'm going to be honest, I never went into the water in Azores, and trust me, I did it several times, the whale watching, without seeing dolphins. So this is something that is very easy to do. For the more expert ones, we also have, but you need to have the permits to dive. It's to spot manta rays and sharks. It's also very unique and sustainable. You will dive with a marine biologist. and he will tell you how they live, where their ecosystem works, and it's really a nice experience. So after this third intensive day, it's time for a final night. And in terms of venues, we suggest you two different options. So Seaside House, it's a more relaxed, open, modern venue that is located overlooking the ocean. And it's known to be one of the best places to see bright star skies. The air pollution in the Azores is minimal, as long as the island pollution itself. So if we have the chance of having a clear night, the amazing stars here are very easy to spot. We also have this venue, which is very relaxed, will be private for the group, and we can adapt with an open bar, with some entertainment. You can just stay there until the group wants. If you want to go a little bit more traditional or different in this case, we can bring you back to the steam area of the hot springs, and we have this unique venue lost in the middle of the woods. So basically you will be surrounded by anyone in the middle of the woods, and has this more local feeling, more mystical feeling, which is called Casa de Chá. We can do the cocktail and drinks overlooking the hot springs. We can illuminate the hot springs with the company colors, and it's also an amazing location to see the sunset. So it's a different concept, but really nice at the same time. We got to the final day, day 4. So in the morning, we give the guests a chance to be on their own time, leisure, enjoy the beach in front of the hotel if they want, but offer them 3 different activities if they want. One is to have a little bit of surf lessons in the islands. They work really well. It's also a surf destination like in Portugal mainland. The second option is to do a little bit hiking. There are people that are into, normally the people that tend to go in the Azores, they are very athletic and very sportive people. So this is another chance to explore another area of the island during the morning. Again, totally adaptable in terms of timing, in terms of difficulty, according with the people that sign in. Or we take them back to the city to have a more gastronomical feeling. In this case, they will skip breakfast in the hotel and will take you to have breakfast with the locals. So basically, they will explore a little bit the heart of Ponta Delgada and visited places and houses of locals to try their local delicacies, learn a little bit about their history, and take some memories back home. By lunchtime, you already check out the hotel. We bring everyone together to a final restaurant. This restaurant is located on the funky area of Ponta Delgada between the center of the city and the airport. It's very close, 10 minutes from the airport. And this is a very relaxed environment restaurant. It's a mix of Portuguese and Italian food, and it's a perfect place for them to have a family style share meal to discuss their final morning, the feedback of the event itself on the way to the airport. Very simple food, but very nice, very tasty at the same time. It has a really nice feeling restaurant. Just, I hope you saw the little leaf on the corner of all the slides, but there's also some complements besides this program. Of course, as I told you, everything is flexible, but we can complement it with other things to become it even more sustainable. In here, I'm gonna put you 3 suggestions of other activities to complement and 3 measures to bring along the program itself. The first activity that we can offer that is a little bit different from just having fun on bicycles or 4x4 jeeps. It's the CSR recovery houses. As I mentioned before, the islands live mostly from agriculture and cattle breeding, also fishing, and there's still a line of poverty in the islands. Not poverty of not having food, but mostly of having goods. And one of the goods that they normally can afford is to maintain their own houses. Of course, they have food on their plate, they have clothes on their body, but they tend to focus more of their income on those needed, but daily basic needs, not on their house. So their suggestion here is to take an afternoon and work with the local association and choose 1, 2, 3 houses, depending on the size of the group, for us to recover it and bring a little bit more bright into their lives. The second is to bring them into the city or even in the middle of the forest and create kind of a treasure hunt, but it will be a little different treasure hunt. Each step they will get, they will collect a piece of a bike that then we'll put it together to give it to a local association. Works perfectly as Christmas gifts, as birthday gifts, or also could be bicycles, could be other type of equipment that the association needs, but it's a fun way to give back to the local community. The third option is to work a little bit with the ocean pollution. Of course, luckily, Azores is not that polluted in terms of oceans, but there are always some debris that come into the beaches. So the suggestion here is first to collect that garbage from the beaches, but then create something with it. This we can create a logo from the company, or we can do some centerpieces to use on the final dinner, or even create an auction to collect some money to give it to a local association. Make something with this garbage. And art with trash, it's something that works because it's not only collecting the garbage, it's creating something with it. Other measures is the refood. For example, this is something we do a lot in the main content that are also available in the islands. It's before the group starts, we connect with the local association and create a network that every meal that you finish, if there are still some left food that is viable to give away, we'll collect it in little boxes like this and distribute it by local associations, by people that are in the limit of poverty and need some food. We'll make something out of that remains that the group left. Second, again, going back, as I mentioned, creating the centerpieces with trash, there's different ways to create eco-friendly decor along the event. Using vegetables, using already planted plants that we can bring it back and plant it in gardens, or also some woods, some dead nature things that we are not cutting flowers, we are not increasing the business of the flowers itself, because it could be very demanded for the nature itself. The third point that I wanted to mention, it's reduce the plastic waste along the whole program. So there's different ways we can use. One of them, we can bring this card box recycle bins that we can carry along the entire program. So each activity, they will have a way to recycle their own debris. There's the metallic bottles. The quality of water in Azores, it's so amazing and so pure. There's no chemicals in the I would say sewer water, the water that comes into the houses of people. It's fresh from the springs. So for example, if you are going on an activity like canyoning or something, you can fill your water in the creek, in the spring that you are passing, because the quality of water in the islands is really good. And this way reduces a lot the amount of plastic bottles we use. Also the recycled cutlery that we can use for the picnics, for the meals, and also the paper that for the programs, for the badges. If we use planted seed paper, there's a really nice way to then, when we throw it again, we'll blossom a garden out of it. We'll do it in a certain location and also make someone happy with the flowers that will blossom for the paper we use. And basically was this that I wanted to pass you. Of course, there's much more activities. I could spend 3 hours here talking about different opportunities you can do in the Azores, different hotels, different restaurants, different activities. There's tons of things that we can still explore according with the needs of your group, according with the profile. So if you have any other ideas that you want to explore, make sure that we are totally flexible on doing the things like that. And totally available to work on the perfect program to surprise your attendees, your clients, whenever you need.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Carmo, for this lovely presentation.
You're welcome.
Now it is your time, actually. Nicole, she needs to leave, but Helga,
Okay.
if you have any questions, wenn du irgendwas nochmal spezifisch wissen möchtest, dann hättest du jetzt die Möglichkeit, entweder über das Mikrofon oder unten über die Chat-Funktion, je nachdem. Gibt es denn irgendwas, was du noch wissen möchtest?
Also die Azoren sind schon immer interessant für uns. Es kommt einfach auf die Flüge an, wo wir bekommen. Also mit 3 oder 4 Nächten kommt man dahin, ne?
Ja, das geht absolut. She was just asking if 3 or 4 nights is feasible, and I said yes, it is.
Yes, it is. It is.
Depends on the flights, of course.
Yeah.
Now I think we need to have a look at the flights after the Corona situation.
Yeah. The good news is that Azores Airlines is already flying Thursdays and Sundays. So if the group comes on Thursday and go back on Sunday, it's doable. Okay, but hopefully they will increase a little bit further down the year.
Ja, ja, genau. Wäre für euch, Helga, eine Option, über Lissabon zu fliegen oder würdet ihr direkt fliegen?
Also es kommen ja von überall her. They're coming from Berlin, they come from München, they come from Dresden, Cologne, Hamburg. So they must first to Frankfurt, and when we fly to over Lisbon, it's zweimal umsteigen. No?
Or we do it, we collect everyone flying
in Lisbon, for example.
Lisbon, and we collect everyone in Lisbon.
The thing it works well is that either you bring them all to Frankfurt and you fly directly to Frankfurt to Azores, either you bring them directly to Lisbon, collect them all in Lisbon, and go to Azores.
Yeah. No, Lisbon is not.
Okay.
We have been in Lisbon for times.
No, just for the airport.
Ja, ist schon klar. Ach so, dass man die zum Teil, dass man uns trifft, dass der Treffpunkt in Lissabon ist. Ne?
Wir lassen sie aus Berlin, aus Hamburg, aus München einfliegen, aber nach Lissabon.
Also wenn Azoren in Frage kommt, erst 22.
Okay.
Da haben wir nächstes Jahr schon die große Tour geplant. Wie sind die Preise?
Yeah, that's a good thing. Camo, let's talk about the pricing.
5-star hotel. It's
so it depends on the programs itself. A program like this, in this, I can send you. We have already a spreadsheet, and I can send you item by item with all the activities based on this program, how much it costs, and could be adaptable. But we can send you with the presentation after we call. We'll send you the Excel with all the costs.
But talk average prices, roughly, to give an idea of hotels.
With everything included, it could be around 1,500, 1,800 per person, everything included. So
everything included.
With this 4 nights, 3 days, 4 nights. No, sorry, 4 days, 3 nights, like the program we said. With the meals, with the hotel. This is an idea based in one of the hotels. Of course, we can bring it down if we choose a less expensive hotel. You know, it depends, because this is more risky.
Können wir ja die Suite mieten? Budget. Yeah, it's good. We have been with this group in November in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, and we have lived in the the one and only, and we it's okay. You have some PDF that I can this presentation.
We will send you. We'll send you this presentation by email. Yes, definitely. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We will send you, and also we'll send you the record, so you can see if there's any questions or any. If you want to see it again, so you learn more about it with the explanation.
No, I must presentation for my boss, and
Definitely.
I like to show Azoren.
Of course. No. Just for you to see it yourself, so you can remember the speech, and you can give it to your boss.
Okay. Alles klar. Sonst ist es im Moment, wie gesagt, nächstes Jahr haben wir schon geplant, aber für 22, ich muss ja dann schon wieder vorausdenken.
Ja. Okay.
Und dann ist Corona vorbei, hoffe ich.
Gott sei Dank, ja.
Ich bin im Moment am Schwitzen also Dubrovnik, ne?
Ja.
Aber noch mal schwitzen, also.
Lass uns mal quatschen. Ich rufe dich mal, wenn ich darf. Dann melde ich mich bei dir.
Na klar, ruf einfach auf meine Büronummer. Ich habe das umgestellt, kein Thema. Morgen bin ich auf dem Büro.
Okay.
Ne? Also wir wollen auf jeden Fall dahin.
Ja, super. Ich klingel mal später durch.
Ja, mach das. Okay, alles klar.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Bye. Love to meet you. Bye.
Bye.
Ladies. Bye-bye. Cheers.